Hey, I'm Chris Newcomb, and I've been looking for you. Now, if you've watched this before, any of my shows, you know that when I say I've been looking for you, I don't mean I've been looking for you like where you are, but I've been looking for you like I've been looking because you haven't been looking, because you haven't had time. You've been too busy with life, so I've been looking for you. Today, we're going to be really doing something more about I've been listening for you. I've been looking, but also listening for you. See, I was out in the woods yesterday with one of my kids, and they actually heard this first before I did. But we were walking along, and all of a sudden, there was this creaking noise. And my child says, hey, listen to that, Dad. And all of a sudden, I look over, and there was this tree. And it was creaking like crazy. Here it is. Pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, that tree is on its way out. Now, I don't know if it was struck by lightning or if it was if it was a disease that got it. It looks more like it was struck by lightning because it looks really healthy. That wood doesn't look like it was rotting, and it doesn't look like insects were eating it. It looks to me more like it was struck by lightning. And so it's fallen over, but it was caught by the other trees. And so it's going to be sitting there like that for a while, and the wind blows and the trees move and it creaks and it creaks and it's slowly falling to the forest floor. And it's probably going to take another tree or two with it when it goes. And some people might say, well, that's sad, the whole thing is really sad, but trees are kind of amazing. Nature's really interesting. That tree doesn't care if it falls because it has already dropped thousands upon thousands of little baby, pine cones. They're all over the forest floor. And when that tree does finally fall, it's going to open up an area of light with which then other plants can grow and eventually a pine tree can grow. And that baby pine tree will grow and take that place, and it will be healthy and strong. It'll be amazing. So the tree doesn't really die in a sense. I mean, it does. We can say the tree dies, but what it really does is it falls down to the earth, it decomposes, it feeds all the other trees, all the other plants, it makes great soil for the earth, and it makes soil also for the new tree that will grow. And so, in a sense, it doesn't die, it just keeps recycling itself. It's pretty interesting. Now, I'll tell you what is sad when a tree goes down, and that's when somebody comes and just chops with a chainsaw and chops 5 huge oak trees down. And there was nothing wrong with these trees. They just don't like oak trees, they said. They think they're messy. Now this one has some rot in it, in the center, but it's not in terrible shape. That would have lasted for a long time. Nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong with those other two. And I can sort of see those two maybe taking them down or trimming them at least in the front of the house, but these, there was absolutely no sense in doing that. That's sad. And look at that little chipmunk. Isn't he happy? Sitting there on the tree. See, because these trees gave shade, they give acorns for all the chipmunks and the squirrels, and they've been great for this area for a long time. So that's something they did, and this guy just came along and had them all chopped down because he thinks they're messy. And so that's a different kind of thing. But when a tree goes because of lightning or because it's weak and it goes over the wind, that's just the natural way of things. And it reminds me of another tree that I know of over in Crescent Beach State Park. I used to go to Crescent Beach State Park all the time when I lived in Portland. And even when I lived on Peaks Island, I would come across and go over to Crescent Beach State Park. But I would go into the woods more than to the beach. because the woods there were just, I don't know, they're beautiful. There's pine groves, there's really interesting little trails, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it a lot. And as you first walk into the woods from the main road, about, oh, I'm trying to think how far. It can't be 300 feet, but 300 feet in at the most. As I'd walk, all of a sudden I would hear this this creaking sound. And I remember the first time I heard it and became really aware of it, and I looked up, and it was this giant tree. And it was just, as the wind blew, it made this creaking sound. It wasn't like the one we just saw where it was split or broken. It just was getting old, and it would creak. And for 12 years, I would come, and I would walk by, and I would always look forward to hearing that. It was kind of like my welcome. It would say, and I felt like it was saying welcome, and I always paid attention to it. I've talked to many people who have gone by there. They never paid attention to it at all. They didn't even notice that tree and that it was creaking away. So I moved up to Mount Desert Island, and then I moved up to Orono. And I was in Orono, I think, probably 2000, maybe 2006. And I remember coming back to Crescent Beach State Park. And I walked into the woods, and something was different. It was really different, and I couldn't figure out at first what it was. And then I realized there was no tree greeting me with its creak. And there had been a huge storm, huge. And it wasn't a hurricane, but it was like a hurricane. And that tree, when I realized the sound wasn't there, I looked over, and bang, that tree was down flat on the ground. And it had gone, And I always felt like, that was sad in a way because I missed it. I always looked forward to hearing that tree, greeting me when I got there. But at the same time, I thought, I'm so glad that I knew that tree made that sound. And even though it doesn't anymore, I have that memory of when it made that sound. And that was kind of cool and kind of special. Same thing with this tree that we're seeing. I think it's really special to see this tree in this process of falling down. So that's what I saw. That's what I heard. And I've been looking for you.